Okay guys, so the next step is going to be creating our introduction screen. So to do this, we're going to go ahead and hover over, choose a sprite. We're going to click on the paintbrush tool and we're going to rename this intro screen. Okay. So once we have this, the next step we're going to go ahead and do is use our rectangle tool. You guys can go ahead and pick whatever color you guys want for this. Once you're done, you're going to make a big box over it. Okay, make sure that it's covering everything. So I'm just going to use my select tool and make this part a little bit longer, just to make sure that it's hiding everything. Once I'm happy with it, I'm going to use my text tool. I'm going to pick my favorite text. I'm going to make sure I change the color. And then I'm going to go ahead and add the title for my game. So I'm going to add a void. I'm going to use my select tool and make this bigger. Okay. Once I'm done with this, I'm going to use my brush tool, and using the same color as this, I'm going to make my font a little bit different. And this is something that you guys can do too to make this a little bit more your own. So I'm going to make the brush size just a little bit bigger. And what I'm going to do is, since it's a little bit of a horror game, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of droppings. So I'm just going to do some of this. Just make it look like it's kind of melting the letters. And then I'm filling this in. Okay, so I'll use my brush tool again. So what I'm doing is, I'm just picking a point and adding little things to it to make it a little bit horror. And then if you see, I'm going around the entire thing and making sure that I stop exactly where I began. So that if you see, it's one entire piece. But because it's the same color, no one gets to see that. So that way when I fill it in, it all looks like it's a part of the actual text itself. Okay. And I could do a lot of different things to this as well, so maybe I'll do something like this. So add some horns. Maybe because it's zombie themed, I can go ahead with a lighter color. I can zoom in. Maybe I can make this even a little bit different. And then I can add stitches. So I'll go from one place to another. And then I'll just add a couple of stitches here and there as well. Okay. And you can see now that the original original title that I have is now changing and making it seem more like my own title, which is a really nice thing to have. Once you guys do this, if you want to go ahead and add a drop shadow to it, you'll want to use your select tool. And the thing is, if you remember, these separate things that I did are technically separate pieces as well. So when you click on your text, you want to hold on to shift and click on the extra pieces that you added to change your font a little bit more. So I'm clicking on these extra pieces and then I'm going to group it. Once I group it, I'm going to copy and paste. I'm going to make the entire thing black. And then I'm going to move it backward. Okay. And now I have my drop shadow. So now that I have my title, the next thing I want to go ahead and do is start building the scene a little bit. So I'm going to go to my player. I'm going to go ahead and copy it, go into my intro screen, click on paste, and then have my player somewhere. Okay. I can go ahead and maybe start drawing my creatures and stuff. The only one thing I want to make sure is that you guys leave enough space so that you guys can add a button as well. And you're going to use the text tool again. And just going to go ahead and write play. Okay. So take your time creating your intro screen, and once you're happy with it, the next step that we're going to do is code this.